I just love to create. I love to inspire.
It goes without saying,
Thanks to the
cults are
Prime Smooth.
infamous for a very good reason. They are known to indoctrinate people, manipulate them, and use them as a collective for the goals of an individual cult leader or a harmful belief system. In many cases, they target individuals that are very
Thanks to the 5
vulnerable,
gift subs,
as
Gaming
they're generally
Legacy.
more
Sub
likely to
Nuke
look
and
for
Ghostly.
leadership. Desperate people tend to look for desperate answers and tend to not use their better judgment. Take, for instance, the story of the miracle mineral supplement that claimed to cure just about anything.
Hey, I remember that.
Autism. And as it would turn out, not only did it not cure any disease, did not help any disease, but also contained bleach. Cults thrive when followers of an individual collective prescribe themselves to blind misinformation.
Oh, here, hold on.
With all
Sorry.
of that being said, today we're going to dive back into retracing the digital footsteps of one such cult. This is the story of the now defunct Reddit cult of CantleMoism.
I've been on Reddit since day one, going from Dig to Reddit, and I've never heard of
My encounter with this bizarre
CantleMoism.
topic first started
the
when I was looking
fuck?
for more internet mysteries to do videos on, and I was on another popular subreddit called the Reddit Bureau of Investigation, and I found a post that read the following:
Thanks to
super
Prime
unusual
Soul.
subreddit where every
Give
post
sub
is
Roberto.
gilded an absurd amount of times. Here is ISS Gold, the subreddit in question. I'm pretty positive they're all bots, but why circle jerk thousands of dollars into gilding onto these posts for no reason at all? There has to be
So
some
they're a
reason
Reddit
why.
gold
At the time I had
cult?
first checked out this
That's
subreddit,
cute.
it was still up, but as of now has been made private. In a nutshell, there were
Thanks
countless
to Tier
posts
1
on this
Elite.
tiny subreddit that contained a vast amount of Reddit gold and silver. At first, it appeared like some sort of test subreddit, something very similar to the YouTube channel WebDriver Torso. While I couldn't
Thanks to
find
your
any
sub
proof this was a test
Crabio and
subreddit,
Yeet
what I did
Yang.
find out from a
Soulless.
comment was what led me to this topic. A user had commented that this could have a possible connection to r/CantleMoism, which dropped me right into one of the most interesting
I
stories
like the name.
I've ever come across on Reddit. Trying to access
Sounds like some old Middle Earth shit.
r/CantleMoism, you'll notice that the entire community has been banned. What's interesting here is that Reddit actually took notice of this community and banned it altogether. Keep in
So
mind
far,
there's
new
an
subs. Collage?
r/Scientology subreddit
Or
that is
collagen,
wide open.
excuse me.
So what was
Thank
so
you,
bad
collagen.
about this one that Reddit had to take action? I will note the reason for this subreddit being banned is listed as for being unmoderated, but I highly doubt that, as you'll soon learn more details. If you trace this entire situation back, this all starts with a Reddit user by the name of Chris CGC, whose real name is Chris CantleMo, who became notorious
Hey!
on Reddit for giving away upwards of $70,000
Goddamn,
in
thank you,
Reddit
Tier 1
badges,
Craig, and the
which was
5 gift subs
calculated
again,
by his own
Phantom.
mods
Thank you,
on his
Phantom.
own subreddit. If you look into this guy's background, you'll learn that he owns a medical company called GL Sciences, as well as a few other companies in the past.
Very
where he
successful
made quite a
Redditor.
bit of money. Just to make sure,
He
if
must
you're
use
unfamiliar with
r/finance.
Reddit badges, they're used as gifts from one Reddit user to another and are displayed on posts. They are usually given out as a good job award for being particularly funny or helpful. Reddit Silver is the cheapest Reddit badge you can put on a post. The next tier
Embarrassing.
is Reddit Gold,
It's
which gives
garbage.
you 1 week of Reddit Premium.
Yeah.
Lastly, there is Reddit Platinum, which provides 1 month of Reddit Premium. If you're unfamiliar with Reddit Premium,
you sub
essentially it is
Aftershock,
just a
you sub
membership
Doggo,
that
you
unlocks
sub
a variety of features with
Anarchitect.
Reddit, including the option to turn off ads.
Prime
Moving
Loan.
back to Chris CGC, he became well known, as I said, for randomly gilding posts on the r teenagers and r/dank memes subreddit. Keep in mind, this guy clearly targeted a younger demographic by going for those subreddits. For example, in this individual post, it would cost about $350, which features 69 platinum badges, and
Oh, he's an epic
69 months of
memer,
Reddit
big
Premium for the
man.
user who posted this. This was
Imagine
common
fucking
behavior
CEO
for
being a
Chris, as he
memer.
would basically be handing out money every single
Okay, that's
day.
Elon Musk,
In
actually.
fact,
Never
this was
mind.
even so common that they created an entire subreddit called Children of Chris, dedicated to people who were gifted gold by him. At first glance,
Thanks
this
for 5
seems
gift subs,
entirely
All-American. Good to see you,
harmless.
man.
This guy was being generous with a lot of
Appreciate
money and was reported to be spending thousands of dollars a day on gilded Reddit posts. As you can imagine, many people didn't have a problem
Thanks
with
to your
getting free
sub-rich.
Reddit premium memberships, and it got to a point where people would just pass this guy's name around and say, "Message Chris, he'll send you gold." As I said, at first it seemed
Surprised I've
rather
never heard of
benign.
this.
It seemed like this guy simply had a bunch of money to go around and was willing to pull stunts for the sake of entertainment. But as time would go on, he would reveal the actual motive behind these gilding sprees. As a result of this guy gilding almost any post that was in his way, many people were curious about the man behind the gildings. A lot of people looked up to him because he
you
was
get
very
subs, Phantom.
generous.
Thank
However, in an interview done by Insider Meme Trading after he gained some attention.
Insider
Questioned about his
Meme
motive regarding
Trading.
the mass building sprees, to which he responds saying he wanted to get the message
Actually,
out
cool name,
that
not gonna lie.
DMT cured cancer. In case you're unfamiliar, DMT is an incredibly powerful
Holy shit.
hallucinogen. DMT, or dimethyltryptamine, has been studied in the field of cancer. However, there is no consistent peer-reviewed evidence that would suggest this in any way. And let's be real here.
what is it?
If a
What is
cure
it?
for cancer was found, do you think a guy would have to do a publicity stunt?
Do they also use that for joint pain?
Dollars to get the word out in the months to
Give
come.
me 1 second. Hold on. Sorry to pause, but I need to look that up. DMT. They also use that for joint pain, don't they? Let me see. No, this isn't what I was thinking of. I remember a couple years back, I knew a guy that was peddling hard for some, like, really pseudoscience-y liquid jar-ish shit. Like, it looked like what the xenomorphs were born out of. And it was dimethyl something. I remember that, which is why it started to, like, fucking Winter Soldier me there for a minute. And he was like, this'll work, this'll cure your joint pain, inflammation, might make you taller, it's gonna make your beard more full. DXM? Maybe. Thanks for the hey, Socks. Good to see you, man. Thanks for the 5 gift subs, Socks and Lich. Jesus. You have the generosity tonight.
He
God
still
damn.
found some notoriety and started
Sounds
to
like
gain a following
HGH.
as a result of his generosity.
No.
Something I want to note here, many of these followers were not in it for the sake of his teachings. However, they were a byproduct of being around him. Nonetheless, a portion of people stuck around and did listen to what this guy had to say. And there are former believers of CantleMoism. And as time went on, and through the help of CantleMoism Exposed, a subreddit we will get to, many people started to outline the potential symptoms of a forming cult. As I said earlier, looking back on this situation is
I
incredibly
highly doubt it's like a
difficult,
real
as
cult.
all the original threads surrounding
Probably just
the
an up dudes to the left, thanks for the gold, stranger.
have been deleted. Not to mention, Chris CGC himself was also banned from Reddit. In fact, Chris has been banned more than once. People collectively created a comprehensive list of alternate accounts that Chris was creating, and most of them are banned. What remains is a subreddit called CantleMoism Exposed, in which we get a full understanding of the situation. The sidebar of this individual subreddit reads the following. CantleMoism is a cult of personalities centered around Chris CantleMo, who came to prominence on Reddit through his mass gilding sprees. The cult espouses a form of psychedelic New Age pseudoscience, ranging from innocuous beliefs to dangerous self-harm.
Oh, okay.
It's targeted members of r/teenagers for recruitment. We are here to aggregate information about CantleMoism and help people make informed decisions to avoid further recruitment. Among the pinned threads in the subreddit, we find one called Outline of Initial Concerns with CantleMoism. Here we learn quite a bit about this whole fiasco. The thread reads the following. I'm interested in whether or not any true cults have ever emerged on Reddit. I've been following Chris CGC and his sub CantleMoism. I started out participating for the awards. I had 5 years of premium after a few days of participation, but once I had more than enough gold, I continued to participate out of interest for what is the strangest, most cult-like sub I've ever seen. Today, it is starting to get more renewed interest by the Reddit community. As a leader, Chris CGC has been suspended by Reddit for 3 days, and it was mentioned in a popular and just deleted Ask Reddit thread described as a really weird cult-like subreddit run by a guy who gilds literally all the posters. He talks about how he has terminal brain cancer and that he's cured it with DMT, and believes DMT can cure literally everything, and the users seem to agree for some reason. My personal take is that he's a schizophrenic, but I have no proof.
Or just a scam artist, what do you mean?
Here's a few ways in which it seems like a cult. Mind-altering practices such as meditation, chanting, speaking in tongues, denunciation sessions, and debilitating work routines are used in excess. Perhaps the main tenet of the whole cult is that DMT is a perfect and godly substance with no bad effects that everybody should be using, and that it cures cancer and AIDS. In fact, he has gone as far as saying that radiation and chemotherapy are torture and make patients worse, not better, which is extremely dangerous advice to people who have cancer. He has also urged his followers
did Chris
to
talk to Steve Jobs or something
every day.
Is he responsible for that?
Tricked into fearing the sun to make us dumber. The leadership induces feelings of shame and or guilt in order to influence and or control members. Often this is done through peer pressure and subtle forms of persuasion. This is a textbook and egregious example, especially when it turned out that the user YonZZ didn't actually do anything wrong and the cult members refused to accept it. The group is elitist, claiming a special, exalted status for itself. Its leaders and members, for example, the leader is considered the Messiah, a special being, an avatar.
No fucking way. All because he was gifting Reddit gold?
To save humanity.
That's like just spitting in your face and then wiping it off. Reddit gold is useless.
The leader, Chris CGC,
Truly useless.
is constantly referred to as God. He believes that he has special knowledge.
I need to look at it. What does Reddit gold do? Doesn't it just grant you access to the Reddit gold lounge? Like, who cares? So you hang out with some pretentious douchebags? Like, does it do anything else? Let's see. What is Reddit gold? Rewarded the post. What can you do with it? Here we go. So you get a week of Reddit Premium and 100 coins you can use to give someone silver. Is there ads on Reddit? I can't say I've perused the internet without an ad block in years. Is that like a big draw? Like you don't get ads? For a week? Oh, okay. It seems like an awfully large thing to say that the guy who gives you Reddit gold is the Messiah. Jesus. Thanks to the Prime Poison. Thanks to the Resubble
knowledge
Kami.
of the spirit world and wants to use the knowledge for the express goal of world peace. The group is also preoccupied with bringing in new members. Monetary rewards are gifted with participating in the sub. The group is preoccupied with money. He spends thousands of dollars a day gilding members with Reddit money, and he also is increasingly paying members real money and offering to pay for their plane rides to visit.
That's a great deal. Wait, he's just giving away money?
He spent over $100,000 recruiting followers with a main focus on recruiting
just fucking
teenagers.
pretend to call him the Messiah. Who cares? Free cash from a weirdo.
Outrageous things he has said, but I think that thankfully most of these are not taken completely seriously by his followers. His most devoted followers definitely still believe him, though. It seems like Reddit is starting to catch on and get worried, as his account was just suspended for 3 days for telling people to call me or visit me to experience DMT as anti-cancer treatment. He encourages schizophrenia and believes that it's caused by excess DMT and that hallucinations are completely real. As the poster of this thread starts to update it, he goes into one of the podcast episodes that have now been deleted. Edit 3. I just listened to Chris' most recent podcast episode, and I can finally understand what people see in him as a leader and why his followers seem to love him. I'm almost convinced that he's an amazing but insane human being. Either that makes him less threatening because he's not the type of person to start a dangerous cult, or more threatening because he is the type of person that could convince enough people to pull it off. The first half is just a normal conversation, which establishes trust in him before he transitioned to the crazier second half. We learn how Chris befriends the homeless and lets them come into his house whenever they want to.
That's kind of nice, though.
He wishes he had enough space to let thousands of them sleep in his backyard.
What?
He does have over an acre.
Maybe this guy is the Messiah.
Big enough to start a commune/cult on a smaller scale. Then, in the second half, he starts talking about DMT, albeit in a far less insane way than he normally does. He then makes some apocalyptic prophecies that he previously talked about on Reddit. He talks about things such as a recession worse than the Great Depression being imminent and World War III between US, Iran, and Israel being imminent as well. However, he does say that those two things will actually be good for everyone except the rich. Next, he tells us what his ideal society looks like. He wants something beyond communism, where money is made illegal. It's not too big of a stretch to say that he might consider implementing such a society on a smaller scale if he gains enough devoted followers. Lastly, he talks about... At first, he said he thinks the people who commit suicide go to a better place and are better off.
Holy shit.
This is obviously a very scary idea when you look at how common is in cults. He seems to be aware of this as he quickly changes his tune to say that he really thinks that people who have to start their life all over again, which would be boring. Overall, there are some Jonestown vibes, but mostly he just seems like an extremely moral, charitable, and crazy person. His followers fall in love with him for his morality and charity, missing out on the crazy side, and that's where I think the danger lies. Alright, now, as I said previously, many of the links are dead. However, going over to his website, we can in fact see many of the claims and the beliefs held by this guy, and they still stand under the discovery section of the website. While it might be insane to think that many people even remotely entertain this guy, he made examples out of a few of his devoted followers.
Jonestown is one of the most wild
in
stories,
some cases
yeah.
up to $15,000.
Whoa.
As a result, many people sucked up to him in hopes of financial gain. But at the time, Reddit turned a blind eye as they were getting paid through the nose by this guy. I personally believe, as well as many other people, that most of his so-called followers were just in it for the sake of money. And when there stopped being handouts on a daily basis, almost all of his followers started to turn on him for not providing evidence of his claims. At first, some people were willing to be patient since Chris had never provided any proof towards his claims regarding DMT. He came from a scientific background and would constantly post about his upcoming research being published. However, that obviously
Wait, is this
happened.
Chris? This guy doesn't look like a dank memer at all. Looks like Tom Hanks in character. I thought it was going to be a young guy. Cult leader my ass. Grandpa.
At another point in time, one of CantleMoism's main followers got a restraining order from Chris, which led to him getting doxxed. This led to death threats for leaving the group, and ultimately this situation was starting to spiral. Later on, death threats would flood into basically anyone critiquing the group. However, many people noticed that in many cases, it was just Chris on an alternate account. In an effort to keep some of his followers on the hook without any financial incentives, Chris became desperate and would make alt accounts pretending to be news outlets, stating that they were working on a story about his research. However, obviously people saw right through this. Up to this point, even the most devoted followers started to not be able to turn a blind eye towards his childish behavior. In many situations, he resorted to name-calling like a 5-year-old, and in other cases, he even told a person with cancer that he was an idiot. As a result, his own subreddit turned against him. It read the following: "This is a place for a very mentally ill man named Chris CGC to post his craziness. Please get this man help and don't support him. He has no money left, no family left, and nothing good in his life." Damn, Chris, fucking blasted on your own dank meme. Where around a month ago, this Reddit community as a whole has been banned. I can only imagine because Reddit wasn't getting paid off nearly as much. While Chris still remains online on his other platforms, he's still trying to recruit members in person, but his digital footprint still remains.
I want to check out
Even
that
his
channel.
own Discord turned against him, and one of his top followers has now taken over. From an outsider like myself, looking at this entire situation, in my opinion, I definitely see how this seems quite premeditated. I can see the angle a lot of people have mentioned regarding this guy being mentally ill as well. However, it seems like from the very beginning, this was calculated towards creating a cult. This guy comes from an educated background. He graduated from Yale. He set up a website. He targeted impressionable people, and he used one little sliver of attention and was vindictive towards anyone who didn't agree with his beliefs. Thankfully, however, the situation has been avoided to a large degree. Something else I should note is that I also believe to a certain extent Chris has been experiencing a degree of psychosis. I don't believe this guy to be mentally stable due to the constant drug use. Here we had a guy with a great livelihood and a good life, and he was well off. Then, seemingly out of nowhere in the later years of his life, after being an atheist for 56 years, he becomes ultra-spiritual as a result of taking DMT and
he just wanted to start a cult, man. He just did it the wrong way.
He refers to himself as a god, and all of his teachings
he should have
point
started
to
playing
obvious
Minecraft
delusions and psychosis. That being said, I don't think talking shit directly to this guy helps whatsoever. As a result, anyone watching this video, don't go harass this guy. His brain obviously processes information differently, and even though what he attempted to do was terrible, it won't stop him from continually doing what he's doing. This guy needs professional help. Instead, this video stands as something much more effective in this situation than directly talking shit to him. At this point, if anyone comes across this rabbit hole or topic on the internet, they have a reference point to which they can understand how this group came to being and avoid it. With that being said, I thank you for joining me here today as we looked at one of the weirdest stories I've ever seen on Reddit. This is Barely Sociable. Have a great night.
Is that true? Only one guy said this, but now I have to know. Did Chris CGC actually kill himself because this video? I'm gonna look it up. I feel like I'm being lied to, but that would be horrible. Let's see. Oh my god. Wait, that's real. That's fucking awful. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that guy wasn't lying. Wow. Well, that was a ride. Make sure to smash that like button and thumbs up, ring the bell, tell your mom I said hi.